It was during the walking meditation on Friday on the Butterfly Trail, and my team, the Sapphires, were going for the activity afterwards in the morning. So we were out a little earlier, around 6 we went out, and I did walking meditation 1, and it was just very powerful out there in nature. The second time I stopped to elevate my emotions and practice my future self, I was standing just off of the path and kind of secluded, actually. And it was a very powerful meditation. I felt a lot of energy around me and in me. And as I stood there, I had that sensation of my head being pulled back, like up and back this way. And it continued as I went back further and further. And I had the sound, the words, "I've got you." And so I decided to just let go. I figured if I fell back and I hurt, I wouldn't hurt myself if I fell back. I was going to just trust, and I did. And I relaxed, and my back, I call it's a quantum chiropractic adjustment, because as I went back, I suddenly realized that I wasn't laying on the ground. I was still up, although I was way back. And I had that sensation of being held, like kind of almost pulled in two directions. So I was really supported. And as I let go, I also had a big rush of energy, a sensation in my lower back that went from the base of my spine all the way up. And that area of my back has always been very tight. I've had, in the past, I've had some injuries. I've gone to chiropractic. And as I relaxed and it was like that area that was so tight relaxed, and suddenly there was sensation and movement in that area, and it just really felt much more limber and supple. And I felt after that happened that my heart was up, like I was somehow attached by my heart. So it was kind of arched. It was really, and it's hard to describe that feeling, but just being totally supported and trusting and letting go. And what I realized afterwards, when I was walking, I continued my meditation, that I felt just kind of jerky. It was just so much energy in my body that that felt a little unusual. But I walked, and towards the end, when we stop, and there's that beautiful piano part, at the very end, I didn't want to end up in the parking lot, so I came back and circled back, and had this, beautiful sensation of energy and light coming through the top of my head and through my body, and lots of, tears of joy, really, not pain, not sadness, just elation, really. But the interesting thing is that when I headed back to the hotel, I realized that I was walking differently. Now, for my whole life, I've had my left leg, the foot has gone towards the outside, has rotated. And the doctors have said, I had a couple of different diagnosis. One was that one leg was slightly longer than the other, and the other one was that the way the leg sits in the hip socket was, not square or whatever. It just wasn't correct. And so I realized that I had all this motion in my left hip, and that my foot was hitting the ground straight and not twisted or pointed outward. So that was, you know, unexpected, an unexpected healing for me. And I had actually thought about it because of the challenge activity that, you know, I believed required balance. That was a concern of mine because of the way I would, as I walked, a lot of times I would kind of drift to the left a little bit when I walked. So my balance was always a little compromised. But that wasn't the case because my foot was straight, my hip was open and loose, and it's still, I mean, it's just a wonderful healing for me, totally unexpected, and so grateful.